Hello and welcome back to the Cars Ireland YouTube channel. I'm Sinead and we've got something a little bit different for you today, which we hope is going to shed some light on a topic which we get asked about all the time, which is fitting 3 car seats in a row. And the car we've chosen to demonstrate what is and isn't possible is the Audi Q5, because not only does it look fabulous, it's also a very good example of a typical size family SUV. So it should hopefully give us a good idea of the amount of space most families have to work with in this scenario. We're here at Kaliedy, an Irish baby and nursery retailer in Bray, County Wicklow, who also happen to be experts on this topic. This must be something you get asked all the time.
Yeah, very common actually. I think the statistics is 1 in 5 Irish families have 3 children. So yeah, obviously depending on their ages, it's fairly common and quite difficult to solve actually. Yeah.
So what would be your go-to combination? Like what's the...
Well, the main issue we have is that in nearly all cars now, they've got really 2 really good functioning seats with Isofix, so you can fit 2 seats in absolutely perfectly. But then the middle seat generally is probably more half a seat, so we can actually, you're really struggling then to fit 3 across the back because of that. And generally what the ERF seats are certainly the rearward facing seats, because the seat is facing rearward. Generally the main width of the seat is actually away from the back of the seat, so that's how you can fit sometimes with 2 ERF seats on either side and then a high back booster or maybe even another seat in the middle. But it really does depend on the car, and we really would advise people to come in and we'll check it out and try all the different sort of combinations to make it work, because in some cases it just doesn't. So.
And what would be the most important factor in a car if this was your situation? Say for example I have a 5-year-old, 2-year-old and there was another on the way.
Well, I guess it's really just try to make sure that the seat is fitted and functioning properly. There's no buckle crunch on potentially the seat in the middle. But I guess again it just really just depends on the car. But the Isofix side of things becomes less of a factor, because generally you're having to belt them in, and then like I said, it depends on the buckle length and quite a number of different factors. Then it's a difficult puzzle to solve. Yeah. Okay,
but we're going to give it our best shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to give it a go. We're going to see if we can get 3 car seats into the back of the Audi Q5. Okay, so the first seat that we've managed to fit in here is the AXKID Move Kit, which is a rear-facing seat that will allow you to rear face up to 36 kilograms, or about 6 or 7 years of age. Now I know current regulation requires you to rear face a child up until 15 months, but you'd recommend a lot longer than that. Why is that?
Yeah, so they say that rearward facing is 5 times safer than just having forward facing. And the reason being is that in the average adult, the head makes up about 6% of their overall body weight. And in a 1-year-old, the head makes up 25% of their overall body weight. So there's a huge difference there. And obviously in a crash, when the point of impact then on a forward-facing car seat is all through the harness, and obviously with 25% of your weight being in the head, there's a massive amount of strain on the head, neck, shoulders and back for a child in a forward-facing collision. So the difference obviously with a rearward-facing collision is that the pressure in an impact, because most crashes are forward facing or sort of head on. So you can see here the whole head, neck, back is all supported by the car seat, so the pressure of a crash is dispersed over a much wider area, and obviously they're pushed into the seat first and foremost, and then there's a small amount of rebound as opposed to the whole part of the body going in that direction. So much safer being rearward facing, and we'd recommend you keep them rear facing as long as possible. Obviously this seat goes up to 6 or 7 years of age, which is great, but what the really good thing now with nearly all good manufacturers is that they've got brought out seats that are much more accessible, easier to fit, and also price point wise are much more affordable, and you can keep your child rearward facing up to 4 years of age, which we'd certainly recommend.
Excellent. And then it looks to me that is it's going to be easier to fit 3 in a row in this scenario, that the seats are narrower. So is there a convenience feature as well?
Well, yes, certainly, because the widest part of most seats is across here, sort of where the shoulders are, and because with a rearward facing seat, as you can see, the widest part is out in this part of the car, whereas obviously if you were to have 3 forward facing seats, they'd all be have the widest part along the back of the seat here, so you'd have the 3 widest parts all in the same place, which will obviously make it even harder to get them across. So generally, when you're trying to fit 3 across the back, you will need to have one of these sort of rearward facing seats in the combination, because like I said, it's narrower here, wider here, so it allows for more space for potentially the other 2 seats there. So.
Okay, great. Let's see what we can get beside this one.
Yep. Okay, so you can see here with just 2 seats across the back, one fitted with the Isofix, one fitted extended rearward facing. Plenty of room, no issues whatsoever. It does look like there's a decent amount of space in the middle, but like I said, when we put the high back booster on, it would have fit, but there was buckle crunch on the seat. So I guess the next stage for us there would probably be to look at putting a seat in the front seat, and obviously there the really important factor is then you need to make sure that the airbag is disengaged, and you probably need to check with the manufacturer on that just to make sure how it's done, and that it's done properly, because it's a really important factor there, because the airbag itself, if on a rearward facing car seat and a front seat, can cause a lot of issues if the airbag goes off. So wouldn't recommend it, but it's the final part to try and solve the puzzle basically, so yeah, unfortunately with the seats that we have in our range, we weren't able to do that here today, and I guess hopefully just sort of highlight some of the issues that you have with trying to get 3 across the back, because it's a difficult one to solve. So
if you're interested in what combinations might work for your car, you can book an appointment with Kaliedy or check out their online store, where they have dozens of different options to help you find the safest and most practical fit for your car and your family. We hope you found this video helpful. Huge thanks to the team here at Kaliedy, and you'll find a link to their online store in the description box below.